Uvalde demonstrator leading the fight against gun violence is a former Robb Elementary teacher who survived the shooting. Arnulfo Reyes was one of several people who arrived today at the memorial in Uvalde, wearing an orange shirt and carrying an orange flag, the colors associated with the fight against gun violence. Audrey Castoreno joins us live from that memorial in Uvalde. And Audrey, I know you sat down with Mr. Reyes earlier this week.
That's right. He is the sole survivor of Classroom 111. Teacher Arnulfo Reyes still dealing with the physical and mental wounds that he dealt with that tragic day. So I did have the opportunity to sit down with him, and he talked to me about his new mission that he's on for his students.
Orange flags catch flight in the wind.
The color orange is used to represent end gun violence.
On businesses and homes across Uvalde.
You know, I want the world to know and never forget them.
Their presence as loud as the pain Robb Elementary School teacher and survivor Arnulfo Reyes still feels 1 year after that tragic day.
There's still pain, there's still discomfort, there's still, you know, just reminders of that day.
Surrounded by these flags, Reyes reflects on his journey towards healing this past year.
At the beginning, I had a lot of survivor's guilt, of course, because I was the only one that survived, and, you know.
Reminders of his 11 students lost surround him at his home.
Some days are just harder than others, of course, but I try to live each day, you know, in their honor and, you know, for them, because if I don't, then, you know, who is, right?
The memories of the 21 driving his fight against gun violence.
I go into a store, I think about it. Outside, I think about it. You know, it's just a constant anxiety, constant thing, you know, fear. And nobody deserves to live like that. Nobody. I mean, this is America, the land of the free. I don't feel free. I don't feel like I can go just anywhere now, you know? So, and because of the brave, well, I don't know about that one. You saw 376 cops out there. They weren't brave. There's parts of the system that are broken, you know.
His fight for accountability.
You see the videos, you see all of that. The evidence is there. The evidence is clearly there. I don't know what they're waiting for. I mean, if they're thinking that it's gonna like affect their families and stuff like that, I mean, look what it affected all 21 families, all the other survivors.
With a message for his community.
Bear with us, you know. We're not trying to make corruption in the town. We're still here. We're suffering it a year later. We're still at it, and so yeah. And we need closure. We need answers.
Will you ever stop fighting for that?
No, I won't ever stop. Like I said, I would not let my kids die in vain.
So armed with his orange flags, Reyes will continue on.
Someday, do you ever think you'll go back to teaching, or do you feel like this is now your mission in life?
That's a hard question, because being a teacher was my identity. You know, I was part of the community, part of students' lives. It was part of my identity, and that sort of died that day also. In the meantime, I will be an activist for my students and for all my fellow teacher friends, you know.
A really strong message. A part of him died that day. And you can really feel the pain in his voice when he talked to me about that. But like he mentioned, he is on a mission for his students and for those other victims of the Robb Elementary School shooting. Deb.
Audrey, did you see him out there today at the memorial? I know so many people are coming to pay their respects, but I guess other people are there advocating for change.
Yeah, we absolutely did. He attended a church service this morning, and then he let us know he would be here at the square holding those flags, which he also spread out around town with supporters. But he showed up with the orange that represents that fight against gun violence. And Reyes and other supporters held those flags on the square for 77 minutes. That is the exact amount of time that passed before law enforcement decided to breach those classrooms. They also wore shirts that said, "Ni uno más," not one more, talking about not one more child, not one more victim lost to gun violence. And Reyes tells us he appreciates everyone's thoughts and prayers that he gets online, and he does believe in the Second Amendment, but he wants to see action from community members and those who send him messages. Write your representatives, he says, and speak out.
Well, I certainly can appreciate that and understand that, Audrey. And how are people reacting to all the media there in Uvalde today?
It really has been great. We've been interacting with some of those victims' families. We are being very respectful, and I spoke to Representative Gutierrez, and I asked him the same thing. Is it okay that we're here? We know these families are mourning and they're still dealing with so much, and the victims of this shooting, the school shooting. And what we're hearing is that these families are okay with us being here. They're okay with us marking this 1 year. So a lot going on here today. A lot of people stopping by this memorial and many other memorials and leaving many, many mementos. But there will be 2 visuals happening here in Uvalde.